So today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that put off tenants and buyers when looking at property. Hello, my name's Jeroen Hoppe. I'm author of the Clapham Property blog, and you may have heard my podcast, Down to South London. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so now. And remember, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to give me a thumbs up for the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm and helps spread the video to other fellow like-minded property investors like you. So today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that put off tenants and buyers when looking at property. Dive right in with number 1, it smells. So if you walk into a property and it smells of wet dog, it doesn't matter if the place is a palace on the best street, best location, best price, it's still going to put off a number of people. When you are selling or letting your property, you want to appeal to the masses in order to get yourself maximum exposure and of course the best possible price. If your place is smelling like Battersea Dog's Home, it will simply attract less money. You will get less people coming back to you for an offer. They might still view, because if the pictures are good, they're going to come and view. But once they're through the door and it smells awful, they're not going to want it because they think it's hard work to get rid of those smells. So you got to do that for them. You got to do the legwork. So if there's tenants in the property, you got to make sure that they clean up, that they're ventilating the place, and it doesn't smell like a doghouse or a curry pit, quite simply. Make the place smell fresh. Now, I don't mean go and bake bread in their oven and make the whole thing smell like a bakery, but little touches go a long way. If you can't get those smells out, think about it. The buyer's not going to want to either. So be it a carpet clean or a fresh coat of paint or whatever, make sure you have the property smelling tip-top as well as presented tip-top. Which leads me on to my next point, mess. Presentation sells. Back in the day, I used to always say presentation, price, and access. If the presentation's good and it's priced correctly and the agent can get through the door, there's no reason it shouldn't go. Market's buoyant, it always is in London. There's always plenty of buyers out there. There's always plenty of tenants out there at the right price. So present it well. Present the property immaculately. If you go into a car showroom, and let's face it, car salesmen aren't necessarily the brightest people in the world, but they know how to present a car well. Shiny cars in the showroom. Think about your property. It's exactly the same thing. When was the last time you saw a dented banger on a forecourt? Probably not very often. They clean them, they polish them to within an inch of their life and make sure that they get the most money they can by presenting it well. Your property is absolutely no different. If it's tenanted, tell them to tidy up. Help them if you need to. If it's your own house, you better do some tidying. Move some stuff into storage, have a declutter, make sure it's presented as well as possible because presentation sells. People just want to walk into a place that feels like a hotel room, unpack their bags, and away they go. Number 3, curb appeal, and this goes hand in hand with noisy neighbors and the like. Now, if you've got bad neighbors, and I'm talking bad neighbors like Onslow in Keeping Up Appearances with a banger of a Ford Cortina with a dog living in the front garden, well, that's a problem. You're going to have to tackle that, aren't you? Because people are going to walk around the area, walk around the next few houses at least. They're not just going to blinkers on, go through your front door. They're going to look at their surroundings because guess what? They're going to live there for the next 12, 24 months, maybe even 12 or 24 years. You don't know. But quite frankly, if the neighbors are crap and they're doing nothing about their property, that's a problem for you. It's going to affect your property value and it's going to affect how quickly you can shift it, be it lettings or sales. So make sure that you have a look around and use your buyer's eyes and think about what you'd be thinking if you were asked to live next door to that. And if the answer is who, hell no, then you know what you got to do. Do something about it. Speak to the neighbors, get them to tidy up the front garden, and the same goes for you. Curb appeal goes a long, long way. So leading on from curb appeal, number 4, outstanding jobs. You do not want half-finished DIY around the house. So whether your tenant tried to tackle the garden himself or whether some contractor's made a bodge of a plumbing fix, get the jobs done. The last thing you want to do is show unfinished product. Again, it comes back to that car salesman analogy. They never have cars in the showroom that are unfinished business. They are always immaculately presented, ready to drive off the forecourt, your property should be exactly the same. Don't have any jobs unfinished and say, oh, well, you know, it's about another 100 quid to get it finished or whatever. Do the work, get it done. Present finished product, because you will get a better price and it will sell or let quicker. People want an easy life. You got to do the legwork. It's your property, it's your product that you're selling or letting. You got to make sure it's presented immaculately. So get to it. Number 5, price. Don't overprice your property. This is the biggest problem that I see. Vendors or landlords have expectations here and the actual price is here, and they price it thinking, well, I can take an offer. It doesn't work like that. You do get an offer, but it's within 3 to 5% of asking price. You're not going to get 500 on 550. If you're looking to get 500, you got to price it at 500 or maybe 510 to allow a little bit of wiggle room. But quite frankly, it's round numbers. With sales, depending on how high up you are in the value stakes, if your property is 500, it best be a lot better than 500 to command 525 or 550. It really jumps up in chunks. You can't be going, oh, well, this is worth 505. It just doesn't work like that because of the right move price banding. No one's going to look up to 505. It's a silly figure. So when you price with a zero in mind in sales, and depending on your local market, for lettings, you go price it cleverly per week or per month, whatever is used in your neck of the woods. I know that in South London, a lot of lettings are done by the week. Some areas still by the month. So you got to price with that in mind. If you're letting a 1-bedroom flat for 300 a week, you can quite easily reduce it to 290 a week. Now, that difference goes from 1,300 to 1,248 a month. Now, if you're pricing monthly, you're obviously going to price it at 1,250. That's just the way it is. So you've got to adapt to your local market. You've got to think about how the tenants are going to be searching for your property and look at the price banding in your area for properties of similar nature. So if properties that are 1-bedroom with a garden are priced anywhere between 1,300 and 1,500 per month, then you go price accordingly. Don't go 1,600 hoping to negotiate down. Doesn't work like that. You got to price it correctly to shift on day one. That's what you've got to have in mind. The right people will come to you, the right people that are decision makers, that are in the right frame of mind to take your property today, providing you price it correctly. Because there's always someone around that's been let down, really keen to make a decision that the property is perfect for, but price. So make sure that you price it correctly to start off with. Don't let the property go stale, because if it sits on the property market too long, people think, well, there's something wrong with it. Don't want to go for that. And also people search by newest property, newest to the market, because they assume that all the old dross has already been taken, because you know the age-old story, because agents keep the listings on forever just to get applicants through the door. You want to price it correctly from day one. Get it let quickly, get it sold quickly. If it sticks around for more than 4 weeks on the sales market, price, presentation, those things. Same thing goes for lettings, depending on when it's available. Normally people make a decision 2 to 4 weeks in advance of their move date. So if you've got it on the market 8 weeks in advance, you might get lucky. You might do. Yeah, I have done in the past. Doesn't happen very often. 2 to 4 weeks in advance is about the right sort of time scale. So that's it for today. Those are the top 5 things that can put off tenants and buyers. Make sure you're not doing those things. And I've given you lots of information on how to get the best price for your property. If you like this kind of content, make sure that you subscribe to the Down to South London YouTube channel and check out the blog at claphampropertyblog.com. If you're looking to get coaching for your property investing, do check out my personal website, jeroenhoppe.com. I am available on an hourly basis. Always happy to help you make more money from property.